Hey guys, welcome to another gig vlog. I am aboard a cruise ship. In fact, if you can see the little island over here, looks like an island sort of, that is Cuba. And I am on here with Toast and also a band called Vision. And so this video is going to be about kind of some of the gear that a lot of the bands are using on the ship. Are they using modelers? Are they using amplifiers? What are they using? Is there a lot more modelers than amplifiers? A lot more amplifiers than modelers? You're going to find out in this little vlog, and also kind of show you what we've been up to, and maybe some sound clips of Toast or Vision. I'm kind of hanging out in a little sports court area up on the back of the ship, and just kind of been killing time and relaxing because about 5% of the cruise, this is a 2-week cruise that I'm on. Well, it was like the first cruise was the 70s cruise. The next cruise that I'm on now, so we've been on for over a week. This next cruise is the 60s cruise. And so bands from the 70s and then bands from the 60s. A lot of them are tribute bands and a lot of them are just bands with only one member because there's just really not that many people left in some of these bands. So bands like Toast, like us, like the Bread Tribute Band are on here, and Vision, which is like a classic rock, and we actually had to learn some 60s songs for this cruise. But it's interesting to see the gear we're using and how professional it is. One of the bands I like to see that I came on and saw on the 70s cruise was Night Ranger. They filled in for Kansas because the singer from Kansas got sick, so Night Ranger was on here, and I got to hang out with Brad Gillis, the guitar player in the pool. And then also about halfway through that cruise, Jefferson Starship got on, and there's a guy named Jude Gold who's an amazing guitar player, and he has a podcast called No Guitar Is Safe, where he interviews the likes of Paul Gilbert, Guthrie Govan. Really cool guy, down to earth dudes I've met on this ship. A lot of these guys, no egos, and just very cool. All the bands support each other, and it's just really fun. So stay with me on this little gig vlog, and we'll kind of show you around and see what's going on musically here on the ship with gear. Fender Twins and an Ampeg, and as you can see over here, the back of a Marshall. And Vision got to play right here on the pool deck, which is a very cool spot to play. Lots of people out here. Alright guys, so this is our room, and I'm so lucky, I'm so glad that I think most of the artists got a room because they knew we were going to be on here for 2 weeks or a week with a window, which is really nice. Second floor, little cabin. Got to bring my wife. The missus is here. You can see her dress is hanging up over here. We bought these little hooks on Amazon because the walls in the cruise ship are metal, so you can just hang these magnet hooks. So got my swim trunks hanging there drying out. This is what these little cabins are like in a cruise ship. If you're a musician, I'm sure some of the bigger name guys maybe get a bigger cabin than this. I don't know, maybe not. Little bathroom, but nice enough for, you're hardly really in here that much anyway. And so it's actually quite spacious for what it is for being on a cruise ship. So I don't actually mind it at all. Lots of cabinet space. There's a fridge. And of course on a cruise you have all the food you can possibly imagine to eat. And as part of the deal with this cruise is we get to eat up in this special lounge every night from 6 to 9, I think it is, or 6 to 8:30, where they feed you off of a nicer menu, and the only people who can eat up there in a specific area are all the band members and artists. And so I've been rubbing shoulders with, like I said, the guys from Night Ranger and Starship, and I think Air Supply was on here. Went and saw them. Their guitar player was awesome, by the way, which I was like, Air Supply is kind of rocking their stuff up. It was different. It was weird to me. Let me show you what I brought as far as gear this for the cruise. So if you guys haven't, I'll put a link to this down in the description of the video. If you haven't bought one of these yet, whoops. So this is a brand on Amazon called ProTech, and they're really, really nice padded dual guitar case for $100. So I brought 2 guitars. I brought this Steve Brown Telly with the reverse headstock. It's got the humbucker in the bridge and an Alnico 5. Stainless steel frets, jumbo frets. You guys maybe have seen me, I kind of talked about these on another video a while ago. But push-pull for a coil split in this. And then the other guitar I brought, which this is more of a backup. I haven't played it yet, even though it's a great guitar. It is this. I've just kind of got... When I flew out with this, I think they just thought it was one guitar, because this case is actually deceptive, because it looks like it's just one big guitar case, but it actually had 2 guitars in there. So when they did the scanning on it, when it was going through security, the lady was like, "Oh, 2 guitars." I'm like, "Yep." This is the vintage brand Icon series Tellys, and they're kind of like a fake relic thing, but they kind of look cool. I bought this several years ago, but I have not played it as much, and it's actually an awesome guitar, but it doesn't have a humbucker in it, and so that's why I've been playing this more, and this has kind of been the backup for everything. And then for my rig on the cruise, brought a wireless. That's what's in that little black case there. My practice amp. We had a little jam in one of the guys' rooms. It's in the band because we needed to rehearse some 60s songs that we didn't really know very well. I'll post a little clip of that. Anyway, this is my rig for the cruise. Maybe I showed you guys this, which I'm probably going to build a full pedal board around this. This is the HX Stomp XL, and it sounds just as good, if not better, than some of the real amps here on the cruise. People have been telling me that my tones are amazing, but I'm using the Soldano Super Lead overdrive pedal, and then this Donner distortion pedal that has 3 different kind of amp type pedals, and then an ego compressor. The only reason I have the ego compressor on here is it fattens things up. It's an always on, and then I don't have to use any of the compressors in my HX Stomp XL, and it frees up a spot in this so I can add more effects or whatever else I want to use. Then this is an Ampero switcher, which just scrolls through all my presets. I have every song for the Bread tribute band in this. Then I just have about 4 or 5 patches for the classic rock tribute band that I just kind of swap between. And these guys, Intech Audio, these are awesome DIs for the Helix. It kind of cleans the sound up and just makes it a little fatter and thicker. Just a really clean DI. It uses phantom power. Anyway, guys, I will kind of show you around more of the band areas and show you kind of the gear they're using on the ship. In fact, let's head up to what's called the Sky Lounge. I'm not sure if there's a band playing there right now, But if there's not, I can kind of give you a tour of the stage and let you know what kind of gear they're using.
I don't remember the X-ray machine, but I remember going through the luggage belt, something, I don't know.
That explains a lot. Set off an alarm, didn't you?
Yeah, Grace said if I did that, I would have gotten arrested. But Tiny can get away with it.
All right, Kat.
All right, guys. So I walked in on Jefferson Starship doing a question Q&A, but this is the room that we've been playing in on the cruise. Let me show you. It's called the Sky Lounge, and I'll show you some of the gear they have on stage. Some nice stuff.
Yo, what up?
Eric, say your last name again.
My name's Eric Visnov.
The YouTube channel.
Yeah, okay, what's up?
So it looks like the newbies are about ready to go on.
Maybe.
Say hi to my YouTube channel.
Hi,
everybody.
YouTube channel. Hi, everybody.
We're talking gear on this channel,
Are
so
you?
it's not it's more guitar nerds on this channel.
Oh, is it guitar
So
nerds?
what guitar are you playing on the
play,
cruise?
1973 ES335 through a deluxe amp turned backwards.
Delicious. Is that yours or is that backline?
That's backline, but the secret to it is that that amp's on 10.
Okay, so
it's
yeah,
something-
I talked to you about this earlier.
Yeah.
You figured out that to get the best tone,
Yeah.
is to crank it on 10 and use your volume knob
Yeah,
on your ES335.
you put it all the way up to 10. Jimmy Page did that.
Yep.
Dwayne Allman did that, and quite a few others. Lawrence Juber came to our stage and played with us last year, and I saw he had his amp on 10. And I said, what are you doing? I said, oh my God, I forgot about that.
I wasn't in front of course it's turned around the other way.
Yeah, and you don't really need it that way, but when you trust your front of house guy like Mr. Greg over here, then you know it's going to be in the mix. But the key is having your volume down to like 1, and you barely have it turned up, and the tone just resonates 10 times better than it would if you had your volume knobs all the way up and the amp at a conservative level.
I hate that I use a Helix.
Yeah.
No, I have all these amps at home, but for traveling purposes, it's just for us. It's just so much more convenient. Not having to haul.
I hear
pay
you.
for backline. And all
I
that
hear
stuff,
you.
So,
Well, I like talking nerd stuff.
Yeah, cool.
Cool.
And what guitar is this young lady using?
Hi, as I'm dancing. A blue one? No, I'm kidding.
Strat, right?
A Strat, yeah.
Okay, so she's a Strat player. I love Strats, but I play Tellys a lot. But my first guitar was a Strat. Can you tell us what kind of Strat it is?
I know nothing. I'm not a gearhead.
Pull it out. Let's
I'm
see.
the wrong person to
Let's
ask.
see. We're gonna find out. This is Misty from the Newbies. So
All right.
it looks like it's a Fender made in the USA.
American Strat. It's from like the year 2000, I think, at this point. And
So it looks like it's just the American standard.
yeah, I think so.
It's a beautiful Strat. I love the color too. What is it? Kind of like a
There's a name for it. It's like Cosmic Blue, or something like that.
That's
Atomic
cool.
Blue.
That's very cool. Very cool.
I'm not, the best one to be asking about this. I do have a 75 Les Paul at home, though.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, I do. I wouldn't dare travel.
Yeah, that's how I am.
Yeah.
All my good guitars at home. I know.
Yeah, this is a great. I mean, I love this guitar. It's like an extra appendage now. I've had it for so long, but I mean, this is my travel.
Yeah, I brought,
companion.
and in fact, I brought an even cheaper guitar than that. Like I brought some like $300 and $600 guitars out with me because I don't really. That way I don't have to worry about them at all, but they still sound good, so I'm just like whatever. But yeah, anyway.
This is a good one, but I'm all about little itty bitty amps. You know, these amps are too big for my taste. You know, I like
a Princeton or something.
Yeah, totally. That's what I play through it.
Princeton,
and for Jeff, he likes it, like he just said, to do the volume all the way up. And on the Princeton, you don't need to do that.
No, it sounds
breaks
awesome.
Up pretty easily.
It does, and in fact, it's the best sounding recording amp I own is a Princeton.
Yeah,
so,
it is. It is. It doesn't take much to make it sound good.
And I'm guessing all these guitars up here are backline guitars, right?
I think they are.
We haven't put ours out yet. I use that Les Paul there. Nice. 11,
Les Paul.
Gauge 11 string.
Yep, that's cool.
Yeah, I had to restring it.
Another Strat box. a nice DeVille, it looks like. But yeah, guys, most of the bands are using Cruise, not modeling. I only saw the guy from Air Supply. No, not Air Supply. Who was it? From the Chicago tribute band had a Fractal. Other than that, almost everyone else is using real amps. So pretty cool. I see the OCD.
Yeah, that's the Don Felder special, right?
I have one of these that was on my board for like 10 years.
Yeah.
And it finally came off when I got in the Toast Red tribute band, but I still...
I use it for, the purposes I use it for are almost just a very
like a
small,
boost?
touchy boost.
Yeah,
But
'cause
you
see
look at
the
the drives all the way down.
Yeah.
But, you know, Don Felder, he has, because I've worked with him a couple of times, these volumes are pointed to about 2 o'clock, if I recall.
Yeah.
And I believe that's kind of like at 10 o'clock.
That's
But,
cool.
yeah.
And then carbon copy.
Yep, and I have 2 delays because this is for Hotel California because we were covering Hotel California.
Gotcha.
And about right there is where he sets his delay on this for Hotel California. That's his exact setting.
And then what are you doing with the 2 mini tube screamers?
2 mini tube screamers are set for different tones. I've barely been using this one because I like to use the middle pickup and the bridge pickup.
Okay.
And this one, the tone is way down on it because of that trebly. It doesn't add any more treble to it when the tone is down.
That's cool.
So yeah, just a little touch of this, and then really, the volume on your guitar is where you get most of your gain from because I'm so hot on the amp. But you know, I'm using this and then this for just a little more touch. This would be more of a rhythm, and then if I go to solo, it just gives me just a little bit of
And you
boost.
can see how much he's used this because look how...
Yeah, this is pretty dirty. These are brand new, but this guy, he's designed, his tone is set for the neck pickup.
Oh, cool.
So I've got
Cool.
2 of them to do that.
Nice.
You know, just to have different
And
tones.
that's just a mini Phase 90? Or
Yeah, this
it
is
Phase 95 or something?
again for Hotel California. We also do It Don't Come Easy, Ringo,
So tell me all the bands you guys cover.
Beatles,
Beatles, okay.
Beatles, Eagles, Allman Brothers. We do Steely Dan.
And they do them all really well, guys. So go check out the newbies if you get a chance.
And pretty straightforward. And this Shure Wireless pack, it's so funny. I don't remember the number, but it's their, pretty much their industry standard wireless is
It's a good little
foolproof. I've
travel-
never had a problem with this
Good
guy.
little travel board.
Yep, it's nice. Just got to get creative with this spot, but I use him the most. He's on all the time, pretty much. And
Wait,
this-
and you guys are husband and wife, right?
yeah, Misty and I are husband.
Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool, guys?
Yeah.
Look, it can happen. You can marry someone and play music with them together.
You can.
You can.
No, I'm kidding. You can.
We're very compatible.
Awesome. Pedal board.
Oh, mine's not really all that exciting.
All right, she's got an OCD too.
Yep.
She's copying her
I
husband.
really only use this
She's
for
just
boost.
copying her
I just
husband.
use this for boost, really.
Tube screamer.
Yeah, and I love this little tremolo thing. On my
What is it? It's a Moore.
Yeah, on my
I know that company.
Princeton, the trim went out, so I bought this little. Actually, a friend
Yeah, they're a
got
little
this
cheap.
for me.
Moore is a good company, but they make like inexpensive stuff. So
And you can get like
Polytune?
a lot of variety on it. You can really like break it up and get like a Pink Floyd like chopper sound. And
cool.
or just-
All right, we're gonna see if we can get into the theater. I don't know if it's opened, but this is where like the bigger bands like Starship have been playing. Yeah, it's open, so let's go in here. Which I think they're setting up for Starship right now, actually. Yeah, so this is Jefferson Starship's stage for like in an hour, I think they start playing, or maybe a couple hours. And I was talking to Jude Gold from Starship, and he uses 2 Marshalls. And then he's got those Blue pedal board amps that he runs his pedal board into. And one is just a backup. And sometimes he says he runs them in stereo, but not very often. But he sounded like he was playing in stereo the other night when I saw him play. And Starship's bass player does not exist because it's their keyboard player plays left hand with his bass on the keys and plays right hand keyboard stuff. So they don't have a bass player, which I thought that was very interesting. And they killed it. Knew quite a bit of the song, especially from the 80s and some of the 70s stuff. I didn't get a chance to look at Jude's pedal board, but yeah, he pretty much has some pretty good tone. But as you can see, these guys, I think he just brings on those pedal board amps, and then they have the backline Marshall, probably those 1950 cabs or whatever they're called. Sound freaking great. And then the lead singers both play guitar. Fenders. Looks like probably a deluxe, and there's another one that will be set up as well for the other singer. They both play guitar, so there's 3 guitars going on at once sometimes during the show. But yeah, this cruise ship has everything, and as you can imagine, because they have everything, really, if you want to just bring a pedal board and plug into whatever Fender amp or Marshall they have, you can do that. Because we're used to our Helixes, that's just what we brought, so we're just going direct. But I kind of wish our band played real amps. It's kind of a bummer, but we still sound pretty good. And in fact, I saw the Chicago tribute band. Well, it's actually the drummer from Chicago, the original drummer. So it's not really a tribute, but they're kind of a tribute because it's the only member. Here comes that other Fender amp I was telling you about. That the Mickey, what's his name from Jefferson Starship? I don't know what his name is. Mickey Thomas. He plays through that one. Anyway, I was talking about. Oh yeah, I was talking about the other band that I saw with a modeler was the Chicago. I think it was called the California Transfer Board was the name of the band. The original drummer from Chicago, Danny something or other. But he was the guitar player from that was using the Fractal. It sounded awesome. So yeah, and then what really surprised me was the guitar player from Air Supply was using 2 Lone Stars in stereo, and he must have brought his own stuff on. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here because I think Starship is about ready to sound check as soon as they get it all set up. Nerdy drummers talking drums.
Hey, it's on now.
Nerdy drummers talking drums. I caught him in the act.
Yes.
So sorry. Guys, Steven, what's your last name? Chiro. Steven Chiro, everybody. Steven Chiro. Yeah, baby. Brother.
We had to wake somebody up one of these times. I love it.
Let's count it off. Let's do it. 1, 2. Let's count it off, y'all. 1, 2, do it. I am everyday people. Rock and romance, y'all.
All right, guys, it's been about 2 weeks. I am back from the cruise. That was Night Ranger that you just heard. And interestingly enough, I was hanging out at the pool on the ship, and I ran into Brad Gillis, and I said, "Hey, are you Brad?" And he was very approachable. And I asked him about his guitar setup because he had no pedals on stage, but the other guitar player in Night Ranger had a pedal board. And I guess he's got a guy backstage that does all the switching for him with his foot. He just automatically switches, knows when all the changes are. But he says that he's playing some kind of Black Star amp. And then they have the cabinets turned around and they're cranked. So the cabinets that are facing the audience are just for show. So there were two Marshalls or Mesas or something that were facing the audience. I think they were just backline stuff they had at the venue. And then the amps he had were turned around. And I can vouch because I ended up later going backstage before one of their second shows because our keyboard had to get some stuff set up with his keyboard. So we got to hang out while the techs were setting up Night Ranger. And one of his techs tried to play one of the Night Ranger songs. And I realized that tone really is in the fingers because it didn't sound anything like how Night Ranger plays the song. But anyway, so yeah, that's one thing I noticed. And Brad was a really nice guy, and he gave me a pick with his picture on it. And introduced me to his girlfriend. And just talked about his guitars. He's had the same guitar for like his whole career and a couple others, and that's about it. And uses his whammy bar a lot. But anyway, you guys, I don't know how far you are. I don't know if you made it this far in the video. If you did, please like, subscribe. This was kind of just me trying to show you most of the gear on the ship. Everyone was using amps. I only saw a few modelers. Couple helixes and a fractal, but everyone else brought a pedal board and they just plugged into the ship's backline amps. And so I don't know if you can really tell a difference on the video, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Modelers are getting so good now that I don't think it really matters all that much, other than that if you like playing with something behind you cranking, that's the biggest difference, is just the feel of it and the way it sounds behind you on stage and just the power and the volume. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thanks for watching. If you're new here, I'm Rich Bischoff. Thanks for watching this whole gig vlog. If you made it this far, I really appreciate that. At least give this video a like if you made it this far. Thank you so much, and we will see you at the next video. Adios.